Welcome to Mad Fictional Media. Today we're taking a look at pre-code Hollywood when cinema dared to be bold. In the early days of cinema, a revolution was brewing. The world was changing and so was the art of storytelling. Pre-code Hollywood, a term that refers to the era before the enforcement of the Haze Code in 1934, was a time of bold narratives and daring themes. It was an age when filmmakers pushed boundaries, exploring topics that would later be deemed taboo. The 1920s and early 1930s were a golden period for filmmakers. They had the freedom to tell stories that reflected the complexities of human nature. The films of this era were raw, unfiltered, and often controversial. They tackled issues like sexuality, crime, and social injustice. Audiences were captivated. They craved authenticity, and filmmakers delivered. One of the most notable films from this period was Babyface, 1933, starring Barbara Stanwyck. The film tells the story of a young woman who uses her beauty to climb the social ladder. It was scandalous for its time, showcasing themes of sexual liberation and manipulation. The film's boldness shocked audiences and drew the ire of moral watchdogs. Yet it also sparked conversations about women's roles in society. Another film that pushed boundaries was Scarface, 1932. Directed by Howard Hawks, it depicted the rise and fall of a gangster. The film was violent and unapologetic. It portrayed the gritty reality of crime and the American dream gone awry. Critics were outraged, but audiences were enthralled. They were drawn to the film's raw energy and unflinching portrayal of a world filled with vice. These films were not just entertainment, they were reflections of society. They mirrored the anxieties and desires of a nation in turmoil. The Great Depression had left many struggling. People sought escapism, but they also craved stories that resonated with their experiences. Filmmakers responded by creating narratives that were both entertaining and thought-provoking. However, this era of creative freedom was short-lived. The Haze Code, officially known as the Motion Picture Production Code, was introduced in 1934. It aimed to regulate content and enforce moral standards in films. The code imposed strict guidelines on what could be shown on screen. It censored depictions of violence, sexuality, and anything deemed inappropriate. The result was a sanitized version of storytelling that stifled creativity. The impact of the Haze Code was profound. Filmmakers had to navigate a minefield of restrictions. Many turned to subtlety and innuendo to convey their messages. They found ways to suggest rather than show. This led to a new form of storytelling, one that relied on clever dialogue and nuanced performances. While some filmmakers thrived under these constraints, others felt stifled. Despite the limitations, the golden age of Hollywood produced some of the most iconic films in cinematic history. Classics like Casablanca, 1942, and Gone with the Wind, 1939, emerged during this time. These films became cultural touchstones, celebrated for their storytelling and artistry. They captured the imagination of audiences and solidified Hollywood's status as the epicenter of the film industry. Yet the legacy of pre-code Hollywood lingered. Filmmakers who had experienced the freedom of the early years yearned for that creative expression. They sought ways to challenge the status quo. The 1960s and 1970s saw a resurgence of bold storytelling. Directors like Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola pushed boundaries once again. They explored themes of violence, morality, and the human condition in ways that resonated with a new generation. Cinematic history is filled with stories of rebellion and innovation. The early controversies surrounding film content laid the groundwork for future generations. Filmmakers learned to navigate censorship while still delivering powerful narratives. They understood the importance of storytelling as a means of exploring the human experience. Uncensored storytelling became a hallmark of the film industry. It allowed filmmakers to tackle complex issues head-on. They could delve into the darker aspects of society without fear of retribution. This shift in perspective opened the door for diverse voices and perspectives. Filmmakers from different backgrounds began to share their stories, enriching the cinematic landscape. As we look back at the evolution of film, it's clear that the pre-code era was a pivotal moment. It was a time when filmmakers dared to dream. They challenged societal norms and explored the depths of human emotion. The controversies that arose from their work sparked important conversations about morality, censorship, and the role of art in society. Today we celebrate the legacy of those early filmmakers. Their courage to tell forbidden stories paved the way for future generations. They showed us the power of cinema as a medium for change. The stories they told continue to resonate, reminding us of the importance of authenticity in storytelling. In a world where censorship still exists, the lessons of pre-code Hollywood remain relevant. Filmmakers today must navigate a complex landscape of expectations and restrictions. Yet the spirit of rebellion lives on. The desire to tell uncensored stories drives many artists to push boundaries and challenge conventions. As we reflect on the past, we must also look to the future. The cinematic landscape is ever evolving. New technologies and platforms are reshaping how stories are told and consumed. Filmmakers have more tools at their disposal than ever before. They can reach audiences across the globe, sharing their unique perspectives and experiences. The importance of diverse voices in cinema cannot be overstated. The stories we tell shape our understanding of the world. They influence how we perceive ourselves and others. By embracing a wide range of narratives, we can foster empathy and understanding. We can challenge stereotypes and break down barriers. In conclusion, the legacy of pre-code Hollywood is a testament to the power of storytelling. It reminds us that art can be a force for change. The controversies of early cinema paved the way for a richer, more diverse cinematic landscape. As we continue to explore the depths of human experience through film, let us honor the boldness of those who came before us. Let us celebrate the uncensored storytelling that defines our art form. The journey of cinema is far from over, and the stories waiting to be told are limitless.